All right, Badlands Rebuilds. On our next project, we're going to paint this Mustang. We're going to use, I ordered this kit on the interweb. The paint was $107 for acrylic enamel, $113 shipped to the house with reducer and hardener. It's jet black. We're going to go jet black with that Mustang. We'll mix it and see how it goes. Never used this paint. I'm a Rust-Oleum guy, so this is one step up from Rust-Oleum. We'll see how it comes out. See if it comes out better than Rust-Oleum. We'll keep an eye on this video. I'll probably paint the trunk lid, the front valance, and some of that stuff first with it, just to get a feel of it and see how it goes on, and then we'll update you as we go. All right, Badlands Rebuild. Here we are. We got acrylic enamel. I think it's MTX Universal. Takes eight of them, one of them and two of them. So I'm going to go 16, 2, and 4. But you look at this. Is this any different than Rust-Oleum? I don't know. We'll find out. Looks pretty thick. Looks pretty similar to Rust-Oleum. We'll see if it hardens up different or what it does. But we're going to shoot some on. A couple panels I got prepped up. I got the trunk lid and I got the front valance on this Mustang. I'm going to shoot these with that. A couple coats, see how it goes. Just get my feet wet with this new paint. I've never used this paint. I've always used Rust-Oleum or International paint or whatever. We'll see if there's any difference. It looks, to me, it looks thick and the same. So we'll find out. All right, Rebuilds. Here we are in my garage. Just so I've got the floor all watered down. Trying to keep the dirt down. It's a nice 80 degrees out. Car's sitting outside in the sun, baking up a little bit. Probably gonna light this here heater to warm this up in here a little bit better. I don't know if I need to. It's pretty nice in here. Got the tarps down, everything's covered up. So we're gonna bring her back in. We're gonna squish her tight to this side, paint this side, maybe take a jack, swing the car this way, and then paint this side. Tight area, but we're gonna make it work. So we'll keep you posted. How's it gonna go? I got the mixing cup. The paint formula says 8 to 1, so I'm going to go 6, 6 to 7. It's 8 to 1 to 2, I should say. And this only shows 8 to 1 to 1, so I'm going to go 6, 6 to 7. 6 paint, 6 activator, and whatever that is, parts of that other stuff, a reducer. I did it last night on the underneath, and it went on a lot better. So I think we just need to thin it down a little bit to get her going. So this hood in this car is going to the dump. We got one coming. I don't know if you can see it. I just kind of shot the side of it, but we got a good hood coming. Hopefully he'll be here tomorrow. So I'm not going to paint that. I'm going to paint the side, front, and back. Awesome. Since my last Rust-Oleum paint job, I added a filter on this gun here. I couldn't get this paint to shoot out of this gun, but I don't think I thinned it the right way, so I'm going to do it again. And we're going to thin it out. So I got a little filter on there. This size compressor is 21 gallon I've been using to paint. It has a hard time keeping up. I got a big one back there I don't have hooked up. But we're going to paint it with a 21 gallon compressor. Probably 35 to 45 pounds PSI. My practice shots on the wall. We're going to see how she goes. As you can see, I'm tight of space in here. So I got this much room on this side, so what I did was I jacked the car up, and I just rolled her over this way to bring her tight over here. And then when I get this side done, I'm going to roll her back to this side so I can get the whole car sprayed. That's a little trick. I'm trying to get more room so you don't have to get so close to the car to shoot it. I'm going to cover off the tires, cover the flaps, shoot this half probably. I'll probably shoot this whole half down to here and then stop where I can make a divider here. All right, Badlands Rebuilds, here we are. I just came out, rinsed it off a little bit because it had a lot of dirt on it. Here's the paint. I think it'll shine. It hasn't been buffed or waxed or cut yet. It's just straight. This is a day-old paint job. I put water on it. I'll towel it off. I got the hood. Here's the hood that's bad right here. Well, I got the other hood in the back here. Right there, we're going to put that hood in the front. We're going to see how it comes out. Put all the lights back on it and top, clean it up. We'll see. It's a pretty nifty looking car. Maybe I'll towel it off and see how it shines. Paint, a lot of orange peel in it, but I think we can buff it and sand it and clean it, and I don't know, it looks pretty cool. All right, Badlands Rebuilds. This is a 2010 hood on a 2007 car. Does not quite line up here. The gap is pretty good. The gap is pretty good here, but I think it's going to be good enough. When you look back here, it's a pretty good gap, and it kind of sticks up a little here because it's curved, but there's no latch, and I'm all right with that. I think, you know, I'm gonna show you what I did here. I'm gonna pull the inside of them fenders. I loosened them, I'm pulling them, I'm just gonna weld them. Just gonna weld the inside of these fenders. Show what I'm talking about. She's kind of crunchy going up. I bungeed this across, or ratcheted this across. I'm gonna pull these fenders in. I took the screws out, I'll pull them in. I'm gonna pull them in about 1 inch and weld them. And that'll take up a little bit of my gap. And I'm good enough with that. If I can get the hood latch to work and that gap, a little bit of bump, you know, it's a lot different hood, a lot nicer hood compared to this hood, which is just beat to molasses. This is a pretty good hood. I'll shut it up here. That's what it looks like. There's a little bit of a gap between them, but I don't even know if it's going to be that noticeable. I mean, it may rub up on here a little bit, but for temporary, get it all latched up and put back together. See if we can get it so it shuts kind of and stays latched. If I pull it in like that, I might need to leave these nuts in up here and then just pull it that way. That's what I probably need to do. Probably need to put them back in and yank on the front. I'll try that tomorrow when it's light out and see how that works. All right, Badlands Rebuilds, we're trying to fit this 2010 hood on this 2007 Mustang. We just got her kind of painted up. It needs to be wet sanded and polished, but the paint, I don't know. I don't know if it's any better than Rust-Oleum. I put it on there, kind of looks about the same. Hopefully it's thicker and I can wet sand it and get it looking sharp. But this is the ordeal we're having here. Hood looks super sharp. It doesn't quite line up with the fenders. As you can see, it's a little bit taller, and there's a pretty good gap here and here. So this is what I'm going to try to do, is I'm going to try to I loosened up the bolts here and here, and I'm going to try to pull these in. I'm going to try to take maybe a ratchet strap or something across and pull them 2 front fenders in, because these are still a little loose. I can pull them in, and then I'm going to tack weld them just to get rid of it. From here it doesn't look bad. You got a pretty nasty little gap, but I think I can tow them in just enough. I mean, I don't really care. This is not a show car. This is probably a $4,000 to $5,000 car, just to run around. This is where we're at so far. So I'm thinking I can force these in. You know, maybe I move them in, see how much that moves. If I move them in 1/4 inch to make it in the gap not quite so bad, I'd be all right with that. I mean, maybe I put some hood pins. Maybe I put some goofy hood pins on there. If I can't get the hood latch to go, maybe I come up here and I put like a turnbuckle. It wouldn't be the end of the world, a turnbuckle latch on both sides, and it might be kind of cool to snap that in to fronten that up. That might be a good idea too. The headlight over here looks a little bit crooked, but they're not tightened down right now. It's gonna look pretty good. We went red on black with the, I'm just touching up the spoiler in the back. Red on black. This car's been fighting me since day one. Definitely a 10-footer right now. A 10-footer, but I'd like to get it to be a 3-footer. Quite a bit of orange peel in this paint. There's one of them $106 acrylic enamel kits. I don't know if it's any better than Rust-Oleum. Shot Rust-Oleum. Didn't see any of that in here, but I don't know if I didn't thin it right or what, but it'll be pretty nifty once it's done. So, all right, Badlands Rebuild, we got this hood on as good as it's gonna go. 2010 hood on 2007. It's a little gappy here and there. Well, what I might do is I might just go get some different fenders. I think the fenders, you can buy the fenders a couple $100. Maybe I just get the right fenders for the front, put 2 different fenders on. It'll be perfect then, which probably ain't a bad idea since I got plenty of paint and I might have to respray anyhow. But here's an overlook of the whole car overview. It's probably the last video I'm going to do because I've had it with this car. It's been a long project, man. Put all the whole front end in new, 60,000 mile motor in it, all new tires, painted it, different hood. It's about a 10-footer. Maybe, I don't know, this is single stage paint. I don't know if I can polish it. I'm going to try to wet sand the whole car. I'm going to give it about 20 days or so, let it really cure, and then I'm going to wet sand and buff it. You can see the hood sits up just a little bit, but the latch did work, which that's a good news. So it does latch. I mean, it takes a little bit to get it to latch, but the hood's latched and the safety latch works. You can see this side's a little higher. But I don't know, I think I can slap some different fenders on here. I'll figure that out. That might be down the road if the car stays or what. The front of the car looks really good. There's no clear coat on the car except for the hood we bought. So yeah, I'm going to put the plate back on, clean that emblem up. You know, maybe I'll clear coat that red on the top. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I already buffed this and wet sanded this a few times. That's a roll-on. This is roll-on, which I don't know if it's any different than my paint. This acrylic enamel went on really blotchy, and I don't know, is it better than Rust-Oleum? We'll see if it holds up in the shine. I'm going to have a lot of wet sanding and buffing to do. Hopefully I can clear it up and get it to all just shine really well. I also am going to get some louvers on these windows. We have them. We're going to put some red louvers on there. And we got the fin painted. The back spoiler is going to go on red. These are the 2 white ones. They're not very expensive, so instead of messing around, I just buy different ones and spray them red and glue them on. Paint the gas cap red. Well, it's a pretty good car. It's going to be a pretty good little runaround car. I think the car has 250,000 miles on it though, and so we replaced about everything on it. So it's been a big project. 2007 Pony Express. What do you think? Click subscribe, like, view. I've been doing this 8 months. 8 months, and I've painted that blue car, that red car, and a yellow bug in this in 8 months. That's pretty good. For a guy doing it out of his garage, in my messy garage, I'm bringing them in, I'm spraying them in here, practicing every time. I'm getting a little bit better. We'll see how this paint dried in 20 minutes, which is really good, but we'll see how it wet sands out and buffs out. If I can get this to shine up, as you know, they say it lasts a little bit longer. I'm still scared to clear coat. Maybe I should clear coat stuff, but I got to get past my fear. I got a lot of, it really shines up here. When you get down closer to it, it's got a little bumpy in it. So, all right, we'll go from there. All right, so I started wet sanding this down. I don't know if you can see it. What you do is you dull it down, and like that. You take all the stuff, hard stuff off it. And eventually what you want to do is you want to polish it. My polisher quit me, but I got it pretty good back here. I don't know if you can see that. This is really shiny and nice. But then my buffer quit me about right here. So I think if a guy wet sands and keeps wet sanding this and buffing it, you're going to get a really good finish on this. My buffer quit me about right here, so you can see where I wet sanded. She's coming along pretty good. I'll probably let it sit. I got to get a new buffer kit. I got the spoiler on it. The one thing that really sucks about this whole thing is this hood. But I wonder if I couldn't put something up on here and just leave it, try to find the right hood. Well, from back here it doesn't look too bad, but when you get up on it, you can see there's a pretty good gap. It's probably an inch. This side's probably ½ inch, but it is what it is. It's a pretty cool old looking car from back here. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I don't know when I picked this car up. I'll have to look back, but yeah, I don't know how many months we've had this car here. We've done a lot of work to it, and I see the end, the goal pretty soon is about done. It's about ready to sit. It's about snow's coming in. It's probably going to be an inside sitter or sit outside for the winter. And it is what it is. Thanks. All right, we got this hood which is clear coated, and this fender is just acrylic enamel, super high gloss. And boy, that kind of dark in here, but look at that. You can see how shiny that is. It's pretty close, so you back up a foot. It's no wax on it, so it looks pretty good. This side's not as good. It's a little dull right here, and I kind of rubbed through. But I think what I'm gonna have to do is, I think this hood don't fit, I'm gonna go get the original hood and I'm gonna Bondo it up and then put the original hood back on here. So I'll spray, when I paint it, I'll probably tape it off here and spray that over again one more time. Pretty good. This is after I buffed it out. Got a lot of shine to it. Now I'm gonna put some wax on it. It's not that clear, but it's good enough for what I'm looking for. See the light back there? That light back there is not as clear as I want. But that's my fault because the paint didn't come out so well on my gun, so I just wet sanded it and I polished it, and it's bright and it's shiny, but it'll get the job done for this car. Yeah, there you have it. I'm almost impressed how that shines when you get up on it. You can tell the right side's with the good clear coat and the left is the acrylic enamel, but not bad. All right, we got her in. She's all polished up. There's a reflection on the hood there. Look how nice that light looks up on top of there, but then you come over here. Oh, you can't really see it. It's not in the picture. But we'll get her outside tomorrow. Well, I buffed it and I waxed it. I don't know, man. It was a $200 paint job. $200 paint job, $100 hood. Yeah, I don't know. Body's pretty rough on this car, but I think she looks pretty good. I think she'll be pretty good. Good enough for a daily driver. Alright, 2007 Mustang. Here we got her. Hood's a little bang, bang, boom, boom. She looks pretty good. She's jet black instead of white. Black is so hard to keep clean, but we're just going to leave her this way. She's already dirty. I polished it up, but it looks good. She's going to be a pretty good little car. Motor's got 60,000 miles on it. Paint job number 5 in a year. She's going to be a nice little runner. Got a little wax all over it yet from my buff job. A little bit of dirt out, but it's hard to keep black clean. But she shines. I'm happy with it. Kid will be happy with it. Hood's a little sticking up. There she is.